Hey guys, what's up? Welcome to the channel. Welcome back to the channel. This video is going to be a little bit different, hopefully fun for you. But we're always talking about positives, how great Lake of the Ozarks is, and the weather, the lake, the boating lifestyle, the restaurants, the outdoor activities. And then when you reach out and we talk, somewhere in that conversation, the question comes up about negatives, or what should I know, or maybe what are some of the cons of living at Lake of the Ozarks. And so, hey, this video, I put together 10 cons for living at Lake of the Ozarks. Let's check it out. All right, guys, so hey, before we get started into our top 10 list, I want to make sure that along the way in this video, you are dropping your comments down below. So give me your feedback and give me your comments down below. I would also encourage any future video feedbacks. If there's other videos or different content that you'd like to see, please let me know. I need some more ideas. If it's your first time visiting, hit the like button, hit the subscribe button. The more you guys engage with this channel, the more people the channel can reach. And of course, along the way, I would love to have a phone call, a text message, an email. I'd love to do a Zoom call and help you out with whatever I can. So with that being said, a lot of times people are asking me, what are some of the cons or what are some of the negatives about living at Lake of the Ozarks? So I came up with my top 10 list. Number 10, I wanted to jump right into remote location. Okay, so real quick, let's pull up a map of Missouri. On one side you have Kansas City, on the other side you have St. Louis. Go to the middle, go down, that's where you're gonna find the lake. And that's where you're gonna find number 10 at remote location. So hey, depending on who you are, where you are, what you're looking for, this is not a big city lifestyle, right? So if you need big shopping center, major sporting events, if you need robust night lifestyle, or I don't know, a tech scene or an art scene or something like that, listen folks, at the end of the day, Lake of the Ozarks is just a big ass lake in the middle of nowhere, okay? And so if that's the lifestyle you're seeking, this is probably not the place for you. However, if that's the lifestyle you're already living and maybe you're looking for something different, then maybe this is the lifestyle, right? So it's just a big lake in the middle of the Ozark Mountains, right? What we know, it's dammed on one side, dammed on the other. They flooded the valleys of the Ozark Mountains to create this amazing lake that looks like an ancient Chinese dragon with a big body of water going down the middle and a bunch of fingers and nooks and crannies and coves kind of coming off of it. And so if you need big city lifestyle, it's not going to be the place for you. However, if you live down here because you want something different, a change of pace, you still have St. Louis and Kansas City that's maybe a couple hours away, 2.5 hours away, depending on where you are. You can go there, take a day trip, get into the big city life, and then you can always come back to living your lake life. So number 10 is that remote lifestyle. Maybe that was a con, maybe it's a pro, it depends on who you are and what you're looking for. All right, so with remote lifestyle, I want to hammer this point home because I talk about it all the time. Remote location, nature, forest, mountainous area, you're gonna run into a lot of bugs. And so depending on who you are and how you feel about things that fly or crawl or whatever, right, you are going to run into a lot of creepy crawlies, a lot of gnats, June bugs, horseflies, spiders. If that's not your jam, then this is for sure gonna be a con for you. And so we learned the hard way. We came down, again, from Colorado, there's no bugs here. Whether it's the altitude or the climate, there's hardly any bugs here. So when you go down to the Ozarks, it reminds me of growing up in the Midwest, and all of a sudden, okay, cool, here comes all the bugs that you got to deal with. However, you can mitigate that. So there's a bug guy, he comes out and sprays the property inside, outside. You can put some essential oils on your dock. You can mitigate the bug problem. But if bugs are a problem for you and you know that right away, I encourage you to come down and visit and hang out for an extended period of time before you make the purchase. Let's make sure that you understand you are in nature, you are in the forest, thick, dense forest, mountain area, and with that, you're gonna have a bunch of bugs. Sticking with theme on remote location, number 8 on our list is gonna be spotty Wi-Fi or cell coverage service. And so, depending on who you are and what you need, If you're somebody that works remotely or you need high-speed internet for, again, your job or maybe your hobby or your lifestyle or whatever that is, there are some properties on this lake that do not have like a company that has a hardwired Wi-Fi to the home, right? So what that means is you're gonna be relying on satellite Wi-Fi. And I think satellite Wi-Fi works differently depending on where you are in the country and what kind of terrain you live in. But it's something to think about and consider, and especially cell coverage too. We learned the hard way, right? We found a property, we fell in love with it, we bought it from a remote distance, we had our agents help us with the whole process, and then we got there and we realized, one, there's a lot of bugs. Two, we barely had a cell phone signal and Wi-Fi coverage was almost non-existent. We had to use that satellite Wi-Fi. It didn't work very well for us until the local company ran a line down the road that was directly taken into our house with the router, and now everything works perfectly. However, we want to mitigate that for you before you purchase. So we got to find the right property at the right location. And if high-speed internet, cell coverage is a must-have, then you can fall in love with the property all day long. But if it doesn't have those things, then we got to uncover that before you purchase it. So number 8 on that list, spotty Wi-Fi and cell phone coverage. It's a thing. Make sure we get it right. Number 7 on our list, kind of again, sticking with theme of remote location, it's also going to talk about limited public transportation. So if you are somebody that relies on a bus system or a train system or Ubers and Lyfts and taxis, that's not going to be very beneficial for you here at the lake. And so if you need that transportation to get to, school or the doctors or grocery stores or restaurants or whatever it is, that's probably not going to thing. Now, there are public transportation systems, there are buses, there are Ubers and Lyft. It's just not as robust as it would be in obviously those bigger cities. And so we feel like that's a con because some people have come down, and if you're maybe retired or maybe driving isn't really your thing anymore and you expected to have the ability to plug into that public transportation, we feel that's a con because it's just not as robust as it obviously is in other places. So don't get caught off guard. Limited public transportation, number 7 on our list of cons of living at Lake of the Ozarks. Number 6 on our list, talking about limitations, could be limited job opportunities as well. So again, depending on who you are and what you're looking for and what stage of life you're in. We talk to a lot of people that are relocating who are in that retirement stage. So maybe job opportunities isn't really obviously a big thing for them. But if you need work and employment in order to live and purchase a home or do whatever, that's going to be something to consider and look into before you get here. Maybe you have a specific skill set or a trait or something that just isn't conducive for Lake of the Ozarks, right? Maybe it's more of a big city job or suburban job or something like that, right? But what I'm saying is, obviously, knowing that this is just a big body of water in the middle of the mountains and with shoreline built up, and there is plenty of job opportunities. It just depends on what are your skill sets, what job are you looking for, and is that available at the lake? Again, you might be in the retirement stage, job might not be a thing, but if it is something that you need and you need that income, that'll be something that we're gonna want to explore with you before you obviously make a transition. There's plenty of job forums, there's plenty of websites and things that we can go to search what you're looking for. But definitely wanted to hammer home on the fact that this is a rural environment. With that comes some spotty Wi-Fi and cell coverage. With that comes limited public transportation. And number 6 is gonna be, again, limited job opportunities. All right, moving right along. Number 5 on our list, we're talking about the seasonal fluctuation, okay? So a lot of people are moving down here and relocating permanently. Again, a lot of them are retired. Some of them are raising their families. But in general, speaking in whole, this is a very tourist destination. And so with that, you are going to have this seasonal fluctuation of either people coming in or, maybe businesses that are open during the summer and closed in the winter. And so that could be a con. Again, thinking back to job opportunities, if you're able to find a job and maybe that job is in some type of tourism industry, and that job is phenomenal when, you know, it's Memorial Day to Labor Day, or really when it's not in the winter months. But then when the winter does come, maybe that business shuts down because there's not that influx of people. And so having that seasonal flow could be a con depending on what you need. And again, if it's a job thing, you could have that summertime job, but then you're just gonna have to figure out what that looks like or what you need to do in the wintertime. And so don't get caught off guard with that by coming down and finding employment right away. And then maybe a few months later, you realize that that's gonna shut down, you know, again, when October or something rolls around. So anyway, seasonal fluctuation. A lot of things are open during the summer times. A lot of things will shut down during the winter times. So don't get caught off guard with that. It's going to be number 5 on our list of cons. All right, guys. So number 4 on our list, sticking to seasonal things, you're also going to have your tourism and crowds. And so, man, this one's a hot topic at the lake, and some people welcome tourism. And there's a big part of the lake that clearly survives off of tourism, but there's also a lot of people that dislike it and call it a con. And so it just depends on who you are. It depends on where you live. It depends on what stage of life you're in, all of those kinds of things. But you are going to have this big influx of people coming down from that Memorial Day to Labor Day. I talk about it all the time. It's that peak season. The weather warms up, the water warms up, the lake fills up. People want to come down and live that lake life, go to the restaurants, go boating, you know, spend time with their friends, with their family, and live that life and take vacations down there as well. And so you're going to have this big influx of people coming down here. But, you know, once you get past that winter month and it starts to warm up and spring starts to come, you start to get this buzz around the lake like, okay, here we go. It's getting warm. We're about to have some fun. So with that comes a whole bunch of people. And obviously sometimes with a whole bunch of people coming down there to vacation, sometimes maybe alcohol flows a little bit more than it normally would. So that causes some problems at the restaurants. The bars are on the roadways, right? So you got to be careful about that. Roadways are going to be more congested. And so if you're a local, that could feel annoying. That could be a con because you have this group of people that come in, they hang out, and then they leave, and whatever kind of thing that they do when they're here, it is what it is. And it's kind of no different than a college town, right? I used to live in a couple of college towns, and you know, you'd have the influx of the students coming in, they'd be there during the school year, and then they would leave and everything would be kind of calm and peaceful. It's the same thing down here. So maybe it's a con, maybe it's a pro, depending on who you are and the world that you're in. An influx of people is really good for Lake of the Ozarks. It's what the lake is built for and what keeps it alive. However, there are going to be some cons with that many people coming in looking to have a really good time. All right, guys, so number 3 on our list is going to be a limited real estate inventory. And so the more we talk to you and the more we put together these home searches, we realize that there is inventory at the lake, right? There's a lot of condominiums that are available at the lake, so a lot of great investment opportunities. But depending on where you want to live on the lake and what circumference that is, you might not have as many opportunities as you thought you might have, right? And if you don't want to be in the congestion, you don't want to be up in Village or Osage or the head, neck, belly area of the Dragon, and you want to be further down the lake, and you're in a very specific price point with bedrooms and bathrooms and the style and what you're looking for, you might not have a bunch to choose from. And hopefully as time goes on, more inventory will come up. But when we went through our home search, I think when we set up our initial home search, we had like 5 options. And I was like, man, coming from Colorado and Denver, right, where you have thousands of options, and now down here where you have 5 options, it was definitely a con. We were ready, we wanted to move, but the property wasn't available yet. And so that's when I always encourage you, right? Call me, text me, email me, let's connect so I can set you up on that home search, because you'll be surprised how few properties are available in the location that you want, but you gotta be prepared for when that property does hit your search criteria that you can jump on it, right? So get out there, shoot a video, do a FaceTime with the agent, make an offer. You gotta move quick because it is definitely a con And definitely number 3 on our list, that there is a low inventory level right now. So not to keep reiterating it, but get your home search set up now so you can be better prepared in the future. Number 2 on our list, back to real estate, is going to be the cost of real estate depending on where you live. And so a lot of people that reach out, they maybe want to be in the heart, right? Osage Beach is the heart, village of 4 seasons. I want to be in the hustle and bustle, and I want to be in the congestion, and I want to have amenities close by. I want to be close to the hospital. You want convenience first, and you want to be in the scene. Then you want to have 4 or 5 bedrooms, 3 or 4 baths, lakefront property with a dock, and you realize that, man, that was a lot more expensive than I thought it was gonna be. So just like any other city, Lake of the Ozarks is the exact same way. If the closer you live to the city, the middle of a city, right, the more expensive it's gonna be. As you move away, typically prices start to ease a little bit. Lake of the Ozarks is no different. If you're in the village of 4 seasons, Osage Beach, or in the heart of the lake, it is going to be more expensive and a con if that's what you're looking for. And again, as you move away, price point will subside, right? But then we go back to the previous con, inventory is probably gonna be a little bit lower. And so it's definitely unique to navigate that, especially if you're doing it from a distance, right? You're not 100% clear on the area, the location of certain things. You're not sure which side of the lake to live on, or where, again, the restaurants and the hospitals and the grocery stores are. And then again, you realize once you find your location, maybe that price point was a little more than you thought, or hey, I know I want to be over here, but man, there's only 5 houses available. So it's unique. It's something to think about. And in previous conversations, it's been eye-opening and probably has felt like a con for a lot of people. All right, guys, so wrapping up this video with our top 10 cons. Again, we've talked about remote location and what that brings, right? We have nature and bugs. It's a thing. You're gonna have spotty cell phone coverage and spotty Wi-Fi servers. We gotta make sure you're dialed in on that. There's gonna be limited public transportation, limited job opportunities. You're gonna have this seasonal fluctuation with businesses opening and closing, and tourism coming in to have fun and congest the roadways and those kinds of things. And then if you are looking to relocate, you'd be surprised by the inventory levels, what's available for what you're looking for in your search criteria. And then maybe you'll be surprised at some of the different price points of homes along the way. But our number 1 con is, who are you gonna trust, right? And I say that because when I went through my process, before I found my real estate agents, there was 3 others before them that led me down the wrong road, that gave me bad information, that treated me like a number and not a name. And that's what I want to hammer home here, right? The point of me doing these videos is, well, I like doing them and I love the lake, but I also want to connect with you and help you and hopefully make your transition or your purchase easier. You're doing it from a distance, so you don't know everything. You got to get plugged in, you got to get connected, and you got to trust the people that you're going to work with, right? And that's what we want to do. So call me, email me, reach out to me. I got a Zoom link in here. I would love to do Zoom calls with you, but hey, typically real estate is the biggest investment purchase that we make in our lives. If this is your primary home, cool. If this is a second home, vacation home, investment opportunity, it doesn't matter. You got to get it right? You can't mess up on it. You can't find a property in the wrong location, the wrong side of the lake, that doesn't have Wi-Fi coverage, that doesn't meet your needs. You can't do it with somebody that doesn't truly care about who you are and what you're looking for, what your needs are, and what your wants are. And so, hey, I say it all the time, I love making these videos, but I would love more to help you with your lending or real estate needs. So the number popping up below, I'll be the guy that answers the phone calls, the text messages, the emails. And again, I would love to do a Zoom call with you. We get you set up on your home search. We answer all of your questions and we help you with your relocation needs. So reach out to me if I can do anything to help you out. And until then, we'll see you on the next video.